What's going on, Washington Commanders Nation? It's your boy Rio Robinson, back with the latest and greatest on the Rambling with Rio YouTube channel, where we ramble about the Washington Commanders. Today is Tuesday, July 25th, and we are on the precipice of 2023 Commanders training camp. We're on the eve of it, actually. Players report today, July 25th. Training camp starts for them tomorrow, July 26th, and it opens to the public on July 27th. And I can tell you, with my burgundy tinted glasses on today, burgundy tinted lenses, that the vibes are back. The energy is immaculate. It's infectious. And the future of our Washington Commanders football team, Redskins, whatever you want to call this franchise, the future is bright. The ceiling is limitless. The ceiling is the roof, as Michael Jordan said. But I got to go to the Burgundy and Sold party and the pep rally introducing new ownership group, and I am so ridiculously and thoroughly impressed with everything coming from Josh Harris, Mitchell Rales, Mark Ine, Magic Johnson, etc. The whole ownership group, they actually mixed, mingled, and kicked it with fans on their first day in town, and everything feels right. The energy at the stadium amongst the fan base, a lot of fans are coming back. You know, a lot of fans held it down even when Snyder was here and when things were not always bright, but a lot of our fans are coming back. We're going to unite. The team is selling tickets again. Week 1 is trending toward a legit sellout, something I'm not accustomed to as a Washington fan. I've never seen a sold out FedEx Field in person. And you go look at the season ticket options for 2023. They're very minuscule and minute at this point. The entire lower bowl good seats are gone. We're coming back. Build it and they will come. Josh Harris just got here. We're still in the clay. He hasn't built it yet, and they're already coming, because that's the magnitude of Dan leaving this organization. The poisonous, toxic cloud that reigned over us for 24 years. We could get back to business as usual and talking about football, man. And I'm so happy about that, because as a passionate fan of this team, look at the bar is so low. Look at the things as fans we have to fawn over and say, oh my God, this is really happening to us. I don't even recognize this team. The bar is that low that any bare minimum effort or listening that the ownership group does to the fans, it's going to feel like we're being spoiled, because we were deprived for so long. We were abused for so long. But it is a new day in Washington, and I'm looking forward to getting back out to training camp. I don't know if you've seen it. Shout out to Joey Kobe Bekovich, the Vice President of Guest Experience and Fan Experience for our Washington Commanders for the last couple of years. Always finds a way to innovate, to upgrade the fan experience and the fan life for when we step into training camp, when we step into the stadium, FedEx Field. Stadium can be a dump, but he's incorporated a lot of things that have significantly advanced the fan experience. Have you seen the new training camp aesthetic? Last year, Dan had us outside standing in the swamps, marsh, wet soil, with a little bit of blades of grass and a little bit of green sprinkled in. Have you seen it now? Look at this. Look at the difference 1 year makes. Josh Harris, in his prospectus to fans that was written months ago before the sale was officially on wax and in ink, already put over $100 million to upgrade the team headquarters, the soundboards, the video boards, the locker room, and seats at FedEx Field. Before he got here, you've seen all the shots and digs they took at Dan Snyder in these press conferences. They made it a huge point. They put emphasis on it. The way that last guy did business here was not okay. It's not satisfactory, and it will not be the way that his crew will be doing things here in Washington. And they let it be known a few times in their press conference. And he signified and punctuated it all when he said, it's just not enough to be a fan. Sure, he said he grew up watching the team. This was his childhood team. It's not enough to be a fan. The guy took several digs at our former owner, and we love that type of King Petty energy. And I can't wait to get out there with the bleachers aesthetic look of training camp. We're going to have a good time out there, man. I cannot wait. But, man, it's a new day. It's a new day. Some quick nuggets before we get into the nitty gritty and crux of the football conversation, because it's that time to talk football, y'all. It's that time to talk fantasy. It's that time to talk position competitions. It's that time to talk joint practices, hard knocks, all of that. It is my favorite time of year because the ramp up begins now. The content's going to become aplenty, and expect at least 5 videos a week going forward to the end of the season. First quick nugget. I don't know if a lot of people knew this. Our first and second round pick were still unsigned before they reported to camp. Got it out the way. Some news they just slid in there because everybody was so hype about the Josh Harris situation. We were all at FedEx partying while we were doing that. Quan Martin and Emmanuel Forbes got their contracts locked up. You know, Forbes gets the 4-year deal with the 5th-year option on it because he's a first-round pick. Quan Martin can sign his 4-year deal. I believe all our draft picks are all signed, and they reported to camp on Friday because, you know, the rookies got to come to school a week early, check in, get their bags and lockers set up and everything, and the vets come in on Tuesday, and then they all mix, mingle, and intertwine and start practice on Wednesday. And then on Thursday, us fans get to join the fray. But our kicker finally got some competition. Clap it up for Joey Sly getting some competition. Michael Badgley, one of the surprise cuts of the offseason after having a good season with the Lions, was 34-38 from field goal range, made all 22 of his extra points. I say that again. He made all 22 of his extra points, and I say that because Joey Sly missed a few. Joey Sly will hit a 60-yard field goal and miss a 32-yarder and an extra point. We can't have that shit because those gimmies cost you games, and little things like that add up. The kicker been needed competition. The guy, he's probably in the competition for one of the strongest guys on the team, has a really strong leg, needs to be pushed. Michael Badgley, veteran kicker. Love to see it. Sly, get your shit together. Maybe less curls and more kicks in practice in the offseason. I can't have you missing chip shots and extra points this year, bro. We can't have it. I started to see when we had to turn on Dustin Hopkins, it was a similar trajectory that Joey Sly has been on. I understand you're from Stafford, Virginia. I'm glad you're from the DMV, but nah. Get it together, or Michael Badgley's coming for that job. And we officially said goodbye to the Trey Turner, Andrew Norwell combination of trash at the guard position from the Ron experiment of retreads. He lasted 1 year in Washington. It wasn't good. Neither guy returned even a portion of what they used to be when they played under Ron in Carolina. We released Andrew Norwell, which was expected all offseason. They said when he got healthy, we're going to release him, and we did just that. He's gone. Best of luck on your endeavors elsewhere. Maybe he does the Chase Roullier route and retires as well, because last year he didn't look like he should be a backup or a backup's backup at the guard position. And I want y'all to put the word out that the Washington Commanders are back up, baby. The Washington Commanders are back up. Word to Stringer Bell. It is the 2023 training camp preview. I'm your guy, Rio Robinson. Let's get it. First things first, the vibes will be great. I expect a huge fan turnout. We got real bleachers. We don't got the bleachers they see over at the ankle biter games, you know, the little cheap ass seats 12 to 15 people bleachers. They got some legit stands in the stadium now. Our training camp actually looks like an NFL training camp now. So just getting that out the way. But what are the main 3 things I'm looking for at Washington Commanders training camp? And I'll be out there boots on the ground, getting vlogs and practice highlights as much as possible for y'all. You know you're going to get that first-class access when you come on the Rio Robinson YouTube channel, because you know the boy always got boots on the ground. I'm going to get as much 11-on-11 and 7-on-7 scrimmage content because, you know, I'm not media, so I can record at practice and they can't. So you're going to find the most content from training camp right here on this channel. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. We're on our way to 8,000, on our way to 10,000. We're a couple thousand away, 2,500 away from 10,000. Let's try to get there before the end of the 2023 season. But the 3 things I am most forward to looking to in Washington Commanders training camp. Number 1, the guy on the thumbnail right there. But it's kind of like a 1A, 1B double-edged sword question. Eric Bieniemy. But Eric Bieniemy's marriage to Sam Howell, that is going to determine the entire outlook of the Washington Commanders season. How the quarterback head coach marriage, shit, I'm a quarterback head coach, quarterback OC marriage, because Ron has delegated all his duties to Eric Bieniemy and Jamin Davis. And Ron and Ken Zampese are pretty much the time management coaches now. Eric Bieniemy, the offense is his show. Jack Del Rio has the defense. How is the marriage between EB and Sam Howell? I want to see how the communication is between them. We all know EB is a stickler. He's a hard ass, a disciplinarian, a perfectionist. But is he communicating in a way that gets through to players? Are they responding to his style of coaching? And how is the quarterback taking the tutelage of a hard ass like Eric Bieniemy? I want to see it firsthand. I've seen the reports. I want to watch it up close in 4K, because if Eric Bieniemy's offense resonates with these players and the quarterback picks it up and speaks the language fluently, we're a playoff football team, because we should have been a playoff football team with trash quarterback play, trash offensive coordinating, and trash time management last year. So with all those three things going against us, we were sitting at 7-5 and sitting at one of the playoff spots for a couple weeks, and we still had a chance to get in the penultimate week of the season when we embarrassed ourselves versus the Cleveland Browns when that number 11 guy quarterbacked our football team. But this quarterback OC marriage means everything. If they speak the same language, if they can butt heads but still come to a consensus on how this thing's supposed to run, we're on the better days immediately, man. Eric Bieniemy is coaching for his soul in the league, for his final shot at being a head coach. He could be one and done here. Asterisk point to the Eric Bieniemy conversation. Tavita Pritchard, our quarterback coach that we brought in, that was an OC down in Stanford for years and even played behind Andrew Luck back in the day. How is Tavita Pritchard's relationship with Sam Howell? Because if it is a situation like EB really lights it up and he doesn't necessarily get the head coaching job here, Tavita Pritchard's going to have to step up and be the OC if he speaks the EB offensive language, his West Coast system, and if he resonates with the quarterback. The quarterback coach, OC, quarterback triumvirate are the number one thing I'm looking at training camp. Number two, Chase Young. I would say Chase Young and Montez Sweat, but I know who Montez Sweat is at this point. I know we're going to get production out of him, and he'll probably have his best productive sack season. I want to know what Chase Young is, because I see the video. I see him working with Larry Johnson again, the guy who got them boys right at Ohio State. I see the explosion back, and I see a guy who's not thinking about his leg and his lift or his gait when he walks or strides. I see a guy that looks like he got his confidence back. I heard the conversation he had with London Fletcher and Fred Smoot. He said, I'm going to set the narrative. I want to see him set the narrative. I want to see how he looks at camp, what his get-off looks like. If he's getting low to the ground, dare I say some bend. Will I see some bend off the edge? When I was watching Chase in that workout video that I posted a short of here on the channel from All Pro Reels or Lost Files, one of the two on Instagram, the boy was showing some bend. Now, Chase Young with some bend? Woo! I mean, you train with Von Miller. Von Miller may have the best bend off the edge in NFL history. Bend is how you come around that corner real tight with a low center of gravity, shoulder dip just to turn and get the quarterback. If Chase Young gets bend and learns how to use his hand, we may be able to see that breakout season, generational tabbed guy that we dreamed about when we took him with the number 2 pick in the draft. Chase Young, all eyes should be on 99, because we know what the rest of the defense is at this point. Yes, we have unproven commodities, rookies probably starting like Quan Martin and Emmanuel Forbes, but we're in year 4, year 5 of Chase Young. I mean, we're in year 4 of Chase Young. At this point, he's still an unproven commodity past his rookie season. So 99. I got my eyes on you. I'll be watching them closely. I'll be glued to Chase Young when the defense comes out. And number 3, for me, the tight end position. We didn't get much production at all. Just around 500 yards total from the position last year. A couple touchdowns. That's not going to cut it out of the tight end position. And Logan Thomas, from all reports coming out of Ashburn, from the media, the coaching staff, and players alike, he looks like he's back to return to 2020 form, where he was a top tight end in the league, top 10 tight end in the league, and it was unexpected. It was a head-scratching signing when we signed him, but Ron had a plan and the experiment worked, and then he got hurt because dumbass Taylor Heineke and his noodle-ass arm hung a pass in the air and got his knee wrecked in Vegas in 2021. He was coming back from that injury and just wasn't the same last year. He was dragging the leg around like a carcass all season, but the guy appears to be back. We know the veteran leadership and the locker room presence that he has, but the tight end position, if we could get another guy to pair with Logan so we can run more 2 tight end sets and have the tight end actually be a weapon that defenses have to worry about, the offense is pretty much perfect. And I lied too, because number 3 is not the tight end position. Put an asterisk on that one. Act like I never said that. Number 3 is the offensive line, and it probably should be higher on this list because EB and Sam are directly affected by the O-line. We upgraded the O-line. Did we upgrade it marginally? Did we upgrade it significantly? Or is it a push? Is it the same type of O-line we had last year? I think the caveat here is that quarterback play played a significant amount on how bad the O-line looked last year, but don't get it twisted. They were trash last year. The O-line did not get it done at all last year. They didn't do a great job of protecting the quarterback, but the quarterbacks didn't do a good job at protecting the football or protecting their offensive line. There were a lot of miscommunication. There were a lot of injuries on the line, and the guys that did start, they just didn't get the job done overall. But the additions of Nick Gates, the additions of Andrew Wiley, the guard competition between Sadiq Charles and 7th, Chris Paul. I think Chris Paul wins that job despite everything we've heard out of Ashburn. Sadiq comes off as someone that they're hyping up because they need him to show something this year because he's shown nothing in his first few years of his career. I got Chris Paul. I got the starting line being Leno, Paul, Gates, Cosme, Wiley. Cosme needs to stay healthy this year. How good will this offensive line play? How well will they play? How well will they protect Samuel? And will they give him a chance to prosper in this league? Because if he's protected, there's no excuse for Sam not to come in immediately, grasp the offense, and take strides. I don't see why a quarterback with a clean pocket and weapons for days would not be able to thrive immediately. Yes, I'm predicting 4,000 yards for Sam Howell. Yes, I'm predicting 25 passing touchdowns for Sam Howell. It can be done. He can give us the same type of production Kirk Cousins gave us in Jay Gruden's offense for those 3 or 4 years where he was the starter here and was available every week. I believe in it. I know it's his first year in the offense. I know it's our first year with this O-line combination, these tight ends, all these young boys. We got young talent. We have good ownership, and we have business savvy people here now, and it all feels like everything's going to come together and they're all going to be in lockstep. And I'm so excited to see training camp. Let me know in the comments what y'all are looking to see in training camp. My 3 things I'm looking most forward to: quarterback OC, which is EB, and this the EB and Sam show. Number 2, Chase Young, and number 3, how much better and how cohesive is the new look Washington Commanders offensive line, because they will play such a pivotal part on how well this team plays this year. Let's put it all together, y'all. This is our season for optimism. This is our season to get all our outlandish predictions and positivity out our system, because you know it gets real and shit hits the fan real fast once football starts being played. Our Commanders play their first preseason game in 2 weeks. The Hall of Fame game is coming up. It is time, and we're about to get Hard Knocks soon. And congratulations to Scary Terry McLaurin for making the top 100 list finally, because he was disrespected last year. Should he be higher than 94? I think so, but I'm just glad that his peers finally gave him the respect he deserves. And if Sam could give him 17 games of adequacy, we're going to see the Terry McLaurin we've dreamed about seeing since he was drafted here 4 years ago. That's all I got for right now. Let me know what training camp points y'all are looking to get at and what y'all are most excited to see. For now, that's all I got. It's your boy Rio Robinson. Like, comment, and subscribe to the channel as we're on the road to 10K. Hail to the Washington Commanders. Deuces.